Tejano TV presents. It's the Three Amigos Show! Starring Big Daddy D. Burleson, the Midnight Cowboy Marcus Daniels, E.L. Guy, Juan Mendoza. Tonight's special guest from TLL Talent, Lucy Lopez. Brought to you by Mas Chingon Radio, LilaLisaPromotions.com, Hacienda International Productions, musician Danny Farias, Mar Azul Tequila, taste the new face of tequila, Archie's Homestyle Burgers in Cotulla, Texas, the Tejano Conjunto Music Superstore, Janie's Record Shop, and Tejano TV. And now, let's get on with the show.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on the Three Amigos Show on Tejano TV. And then, it's after fanfare time when you're still recovering and you start the show, but you haven't clicked the live button.
Redid.
Man, that's crazy stuff. I think that's about the second time it only happened to us. But thank you guys so much for joining us here. Yes, we are back after all the fanfare, hoopla, and all the good stuff that happened out there. I want to thank Janie's Record Shop for allowing us to be there this past weekend. We did a meet and greet at their shop, and it turned out a big success. And we got invited to go again next year. Also, thank you to Vic Gonzalez, the Internet Radio Gala.
Vic.
Another huge success. We were there for about 5 hours, conducted about 5 hours straight interviews throughout the night. So that was awesome. And they enjoyed us, and we get to return for the 12th annual next year. And be sure to check it out this week here on Tejano TV. We're going to have all those interviews. I think about 8 hours worth of interviews that we did that night, this past weekend. So it'll be streaming here on Tejano TV. Plus some shows that we did at Jaime's place featuring some awesome artists. They're going to be streaming here on Tejano TV throughout the weekend. All right, but let's go to give us some shout-outs. Going out to my baby Lila Cervantes with Lila Lease Promotions, Archie's Homestyle Burger, Danny Farias, Janie's Record Shop, DTF in Texas, Nuestra Música Monthly Magazine, and of course, Mar Azul Tequila. New face of tequila. I am El Mas Chingon, Juan Mendoza.
I am D, the one and only
Midnight Mariachi, Marcus Daniels.
And our guest tonight is
Lucy Lopez.
Yay! Hey guys, have you noticed she's the first one to put her own background so that she's got her logo and everything? It looks all
nice.
smooth.
She was ready.
Nice.
I tried.
Well, tonight, here at the Three Amigos Show, we try to highlight all the aspects of the music industry. We talk to musicians, sound engineers, we talk to artists, we talk to everyone, but little is known about promoters. And promoters, as everyone knows, they're the ones that hire the bands, and they find the location, and they make celebrations out of big events. And so what exactly is a promoter, and what does a promoter do, and what should bands look for when dealing with a promoter? So tonight we have Lucy Lopez out of Plano, Texas, but she books a lot of big name acts in Amarillo, and people like La Mafia, Signo, all the big names. She's handled them all. Welcome to the show, Lucy.
Thank you guys very much.
And so my first question is, what does a promoter do? Because people don't know. They hear about promoters all the time. They, the promoter this, the promoter that, the promoter said, free beer for the band, right? Oh. But what is a promoter?
Good question. I think in this industry, and particularly in dealing with the virtual aspect of it, you have people that call themselves promoters, and that's people that do promotions online, etc. That type of promotion. Then there's a second part of the promotion, which is what you're talking about, which is booking the bands, working with the clubs and things like that. So there's not wrong to call yourself a promoter either way. It's just you have to know who you're talking about. And sometimes it is a promoter via virtual that is doing the email stuff that messed up on something, and sometimes it's a promoter that was supposed to book somebody, didn't get the venue right or whatever, So I think it's kind of interchangeable at some extent. And from a marketing perspective, is correct. The promotions that's done virtually, a promoter does that. But the other half is the one you're talking about, which is the one that brings the acts to the clubs and deals with the venues and deals with the artists specifically and the money.
So you're
So
talking about, well, what you're describing sounds like professional promoters, and then the amateurs who've gotten into the promoting game, and they book acts and then they don't follow through somehow. They don't have the venue right, or they couldn't get the artist that they promised, or so.
well, sometimes it's out of their promoters' hands. I don't think they're amateurs by any means. When I'm talking about the other promoter, it's people that do the promotions online, meaning the ones that share the posts, the ones that announce the albums, those sorts of things.
Kind of like PR reps.
Oh, PR, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But if you look at a lot of the individuals that do that, they label their company or hobby as promotions. So that's why I said
Oh,
it's kind of like you have to know that both of them are correct, but the one that we're talking about is the one that brings the acts to the clubs and things like that.
well, then you are the kind of promoter who benefits the community. You do the festivals, you work with the clubs, you bring the
Right,
artists to the towns, correct?
right, we do.
So
Um, Go
so
ahead.
sometimes a lot of times, well, gosh, pretty much 80% of the times you say promoter and people take it as a negative kind of thing, that because they complain about not getting paid by the promoter. There was no advertising by the promoter. The promoter gets blamed for a lot of things. What exactly does a promoter do? What aspects do they handle?
Well, they deal with the art, obviously the artist directly or the artist rep directly, the one who gives them the information about, how much it's going to cost, what it's going to take to get the artist there, what they need, whether they have a writer of some sort or plot information, that sort of thing. If they need sound or if they need lighting, those sorts of things. Or sometimes, the artists bring their own crew to handle that.
Hmm.
So
So, they deal with those sorts of aspects, and then they also deal with the money aspect. Finding out how much it's going to take and what the terms are. Do they want to? Does the artist want 10% up front, or do they want half up front and then the rest when they get there? That sort of thing. But in doing that, you have to know from an artist's perspective, there's some things in the contract that, the artist will send, and then the promoter's like, well, I don't think we can do that. So, there's negotiations that go back and forth. So,
Okay.
between both parties, you know, I guess if I were to tell either party, look at the contract, and if you don't agree with something, bring it to the table. I mean, it's obviously your money that you're gonna be paying, and for the artist, it's money you're gonna be receiving. So it's important. Those type of things are important.
Well, now to make all of this legit and that you know what you're talking about, well, let's do some name dropping here. Who are some of the artists that you've worked with?
Some of the artists I've worked with, let's see, I've worked with Sunny.
Sunny
I've worked,
Sazona y todo
yeah.
eso, right?
Okay, but in working with Sunny, I have to tell you, I was working for Sunny, but I'm on the other side.
Oh, the other side of the promotions table. Okay.
Okay, so I've done some festivals where we were supposed to have the hometown boys perform at the festival, but we got rained out,
Oh,
and so the hometown boys performed for us at inside the little, I guess, community center that was attached to the park.
uh-huh.
They did that for us. So those type of things happen all the time. So it's one of those things. But we had several other artists perform, local and some other up and coming artists. But it just depends on the festival and the type of thing. But that festival was completely unexpected. It was going to rain, and when it rained, it poured. It was like 9 inches. That they got in like a, we were standing in puddles halfway up the tires. And trying to tear down the stuff that we had for the whole festival. Yeah, it was, one of those things. But
So
No,
are you more on the promotion side or the booking agent?
uh, we currently do both. So it just depends on what hat I have to fill.
oh,
Right
well,
now, I'm trying to get the Tejano music scene in Amarillo. I'm trying to get it established a little more. What happened is that we had a venue that we used or that was used for bringing acts into town,
mhm.
and it went through a renovation about a year and a half ago. And so now the venue has contacted me to try to bring in different acts. And so we're working on the logistics of that. They want to do Tejano, but they want to do it on certain nights. And that, that plays an issue too. But they also have the venue set up for um, mainly like a country.
Oh, okay.
They bring in country too. But so then they have a DJ. Obviously, they have a DJ. But the venue itself is one of the interesting venues because it is attached to the hotel. So they want to provide entertainment for their hotel guests, and it has a restaurant. And the restaurant is actually facing the dance floor and the stage. You're in the club area to have dinner, but they want to provide both appeal to the Hana market, and they want to appeal to the people that aren't Tahanos coming to the club.
Now, on the promotion side, since okay, we were establishing like there's the booking side where you book clubs and festivals and that sort of things, and then there's the promotion side where you promote artists. I understand you're working with Pete Astudillo
I
recently.
am working with Pete. I am working with Pete. I've been working with Pete since 2019.
Oh, wow.
I've been working with him. Yeah, it's been since 2019, right before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, he released a couple of singles during the pandemic, and we worked on that too. And he's recently released another single back in January, and
Uh,
so we've been hitting it hard, especially him this week. He has like 5 interviews and one a day this week, so it's kind of nice.
Now you're kind of modest because I know you've worked with lots of acts and you're failing to name them. I'm not going to do that for you. But how did you get started? I mean, you're a promoter and you got a great reputation. So what got you into the promotions business, so to speak?
Actually, I wasn't even in the industry at all. Have I've always been in the Tejano music industry as a fan, right?
Mhm.
Like many people. But it wasn't until 2015 that somebody approached me to work for them. And I was like, well, I can do those things, the promotion side, but I haven't done booking. And so we went kind of back and forth because I wasn't sure how to do it. And so I asked a lot of questions, and I told the artist to let me think about it. And then after that, I started to come up with, if I can see it, the logo here, Yellow Talent, because I didn't want to just be a name. I wanted to have some legitimacy to what I was doing. So I created this company and went on it from all aspects. And so my company actually, um, I work with the artists if they come to me and we figure out what exactly they need. Some people, are established and they don't need a lot of promotion to let people know who they are, i.e. Pete. You say his name, people know. But if I were to tell you some other names, you'd be like, who's that? And you have to go look them up. And so those guys need a little more on the promotion side from a recognition standpoint.
Now, what does TLL stand for? Because I know people are asking that. Is it Tejano Lucy Lopez?
It's funny because they said a couple people have asked that, and they always say, we got the LL. What does the T stand for? And so I went to Notre Dame. So you have to know that background just a little bit. But the TLL, I had called the bar. I had a bar in my house, a full-fledged bar. And I named the bar the Lucky Leprechaun. And so when I was like trying to come up with the name, I kept thinking acronyms, and all of a sudden I looked up at the bar. I was like, well, that's it. We'll just go with that. So TLL Talent was
That's how
born at that point.
Okay, there's got to be a story there. You had a full-fledged bar in your house called the Lucky Leprechaun. What kind of entertainment was at this bar?
I saw friends who would come over, and the house I was at the time had a full formal dining living area, and all the floors in the house, with the exception of the kitchen, were hardwood floors. And so when you walked in the front door, and it had a separate living area in the back, and it was like a little living room. And so that's where I set up the TV and my entertainment stuff. And then I had this room that was empty, really, because I had nothing to put in it. I don't have a formal dining table. I had a little dining table in the kitchen, and so I was like, well, I might as well set up my bar. And I have to tell you, though, when I moved houses, I unpacked about I think it was 17 boxes of alcohol.
Wow.
And I mean, I have shelves that have, but I had a lot of stuff because I had, different people come over, and I wanted to have, if somebody wanted Grey Goose or somebody wanted Crown. I didn't want to be fumbling no, I don't have that. What else can I make for you? And
You had to deal with the distributor?
I should have been, but actually, living in Plano, they the liquor stores, the big liquor stores there, give free bartending classes. So I would, I would go to those bartending classes. I learned about the various types of tequila or vodka or whatever it was, and then I come home with a couple bottles of whatever, and so that's hence the 17 boxes were, unpacked and
Guys, let's go to give some shout outs real quick. Going out to Joe Villanueva. He says, hey y'all, thank you for tuning in.
What's up, Joe?
Jonathan and Chrissy E says, aloha guys.
Aloha, imahu.
Good seeing you guys this weekend. Not the official Tejano D.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, the official Tejano D. Yeah, okay.
The Tejano Blues man called you out, man.
Yeah, he called me out. Thank you.
Juan Antonio Lomas. J Lomas, what's up? Saludos. Good seeing you this weekend as well. He's got some new music coming out. I think we had a thumb drive. I got a bunch of thumb drives here. I got to go through them here. Alex, what's going on? Alejandro Lopez. Saludos from Houston, Texas. The official Tejano D.
Oh, that's the Tejano D.
Híjole, okay.
Yeah.
We've never met, so yeah.
I met him last year over there at the gala. Ricky Durance is already Lucy.
Hey, Ricky.
Randy Knopf says, saludos everyone.
What's up, Randy?
What's going on, Randy? Ricky Durance is always grateful to Lucy.
Oh, thank you.
There's a story here. Wait. You two are just communicating back and forth on our side.
Sorry, Bobby.
Ricky Duran, what's going on? Wait, what's going on?
We'll get the scoop in a minute. Bobby Castaneda says, hello, everyone. You made it, Marcus.
All these secret messages. What's going on?
Beatriz says, saludos, amigos. Beatriz.
Hello, baby
Y
Beatriz.
Destino. Ricky Duran said, nothing but love and respect, Lucy Lopez. Uh-oh. Good seeing y'all this weekend. Yes, good seeing you guys this weekend. It's a lot of people out there. Dora Cifuentes, West Texas, the Jano Conjunto group. Shout out. Thank you, Dora, for tuning in.
Oh, it's Dora. Hi, Dora. I know Dora.
Okay, what's going on here?
Good people.
Let's get the cheese man going.
Well, when I started TLO Talent, about I'm gonna say 3 or 4 months into working with the artists, doing the promotions and getting things established, Ricky ended up coming on as a brand new DJ for our station, and I literally signed on to his first broadcast and was one of the first people to meet Ricky for that station. And so we kind of joke around that since day one, because it really was since day one for Ricky that, on the air that I met him and reached out to him and we became friends.
Now, was this in Houston or in Dallas?
I was in Dallas and Ricky was in Houston.
Oh, so it was a long distance relationship?
Yeah. Well, then we met at Fanfare.
Okay.
Because when it started, I announced the company right before Fanfare. I went to Fanfare, and then right after that, I met Ricky the next Fanfare.
Don't fall into the Juan Mendoza trap. He's trying to insinuate that there's a relationship here. So
I'm gonna get Ricky divorced.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might have to work with his wife on a couple of things because he is married.
Yeah, he is. And get him divorced. 95.3 Jams. That was the station in Houston.
Yes, that was where he was at the time, and that was where literally I tuned in. I think like 2 minutes after he went on the air, and then messaged him directly after that saying hello.
Marcus, who's Dora Cifuentes? Because I have the honor of being able to research Lucy Lopez over the last couple of weeks, and then so Dora Cifuentes pops up a bunch, and I just went, who is Dora Cifuentes? Go ahead, Marcus.
I know she had an organization, and I don't want to. I don't want to get it wrong. It's West Texas something.
Yeah, it's West Texas, the Jano Conjunto group. That's
and I'm always I promote my stuff there all the time.
Well, she's put it right
there.
Here.
It is.
Oh,
I don't know. It was a Facebook group or
Facebook group. Yes.
Okay. Or an actual organization. I don't know if it was.
She's also the first promoter to get me, I would say, west of Dallas. Yeah, it's a long drive, man. Love
Especially
it. Plainview, Texas. Yeah, Plainview.
Well, if you're just tuning into the Three Amigos show tonight, we have promoter Lucy Lopez on the air with us tonight to explain what a promoter does, what a promoter is, the good things and the bad things that are associated with being a promoter. But right now, why don't we play one of the songs by one of her artists that she promotes, and that's Pida Studio. This is Vas a Llorar. Say it, Juan. I keep
Vas a Llorar.
I know it's Vas a Llorar, but okay. Right here on the Three Amigos show.
Vas a llorar cuando me vaya. Vas a extrañar lo que fui y lo que te daba. Nunca sabes lo que tienes hasta que lo has perdido. ¿Cómo puede ser que fuiste tan ciega? Vas a llorar al ver la luna iluminada y recuerdas las noches de amor y pasión que te daba. Cuando te haga falta un buen amigo, si tienes frío y te falta abrigo, ¿cómo puede ser que fuiste tan ciega? Vas a llorar cuando recuerdes todo lo que te di y no estés junto a mí. Ay, pero vas a llorar, también vas a sufrir cuando me mires al lado de otra y no tengas mi amor. Vas a llorar. que te daba. Porque nunca sabes lo que tienes hasta que lo ves perdido. ¿Cómo puede ser que fuiste tan ciega? Vas a llorar al ver la luna iluminada y recuerdes las noches de amor y pasión que te daba. Cuando te haga falta un buen amigo, si tienes frío y te falta abrigo, ¿cómo puede ser que fuiste tan ciega? Vas a llorar cuando recuerdes todo lo que te di y no estés junto a mí. Ay, pero vas a llorar, también vas a sufrir cuando me mires al lado de otra y no tengas mi amor. Ya no vas a llorar, también vas a sufrir cuando me mires al lado de otra y no tengas mi amor. Ya no vas a llorar, vas a sufrir, vas a llorar, vas a sufrir, ay, vas a llorar y vas a sufrir, vas a llorar, vas a llorar y vas a sufrir, vas a llorar.
Pretty much.
Next.
Sir.
This week on the Three Amigos Show.
We have the honor to have someone who's been on many of your favorite songs as a guitarist, and now he's become one of Tejano's favorite singers. Miguel Hernandez joins the Three Amigos Show to discuss his career and his observations about the music industry. There's going to be a lot of name dropping about the artists he's worked with. Join us next time to find out. Miguel Hernandez will be here next week.
Right here on the Three Amigos Show.
All right, that's gonna be another show right there.
You interviewed him before?
I think so. Yeah.
I've been doing that before too.
Yeah.
He's fun. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are here enlightening the Tejano audience on what a promoter does, because you've heard promoters all your life. You've heard they promote events, they promote artists, they do all these things behind the scenes. And so we just wanted to bring some of the things to light. And oh no. Hello, Daniel Martinez, all the way from Colorado. Thank you very, very, very much. We have Lucy Lopez, a very, very respected promoter, and she is here answering questions. One thing that always has troubled bands that I know of is the fact that sometimes promoters don't advertise where that the artist is going to be in town on a certain date for a certain event, and I don't want to disparage anybody or say. That's why I was saying earlier that sometimes you have amateur promoters, and then you have the professionals, the people that have connections with radio stations and newspapers and online content, being able to advertise an event. And then you have the people who want to be promoters and make money, so to speak, by having bands, and then the bands don't get paid because there's no attendance. What do you have to say about those kinds of situations? I don't know what you. I'll stop talking and let you speak.
Well, actually, Mark, D, can you check your messages real quick? Because I see you.
Sure. Thank you.
So as far as advertising, I think that's definitely something that needs to be addressed, because for some locations, like the bigger cities, they have radio stations, but in the instance of Amarillo, you don't have the radio stations. Now, the internet radio stations are available, but some people don't use internet radio. They don't want to use, or they don't know how to use, or whatever the case may be. And so even if you buy advertising as a promoter for these stations to, get the word out to some of these locations that don't have a radio station, i.e. a terrestrial one, you miss out. And so the days of printing flyers and doing those sorts of promotion may be, archaic to some extent. But in the instance of Amarillo, Texas, that sort of promotion is needed to let everybody know that, hey, this event is coming up. And then Facebook is great and Instagram is great. But if people don't use those mediums, on a daily basis or even at all, then they're missing out. I've been in situations, this artist came to play here, and people are like, I didn't know until after they were gone, or I didn't know at all. And these are people that would have spent the money to go to the show. And so, then I got tasked with, next time somebody's in town, anybody let me know, because they don't know. And that's, poor promotions on the promoter side, i.e., the guy who booked them, because that should have been something that would have been important to get people to the venue, especially for the band that was, taking a percentage of the door.
Well, does that make it kind of like a hazy area, because sometimes the promoter is somehow the go between the artist and the venue, and so who pays the artist? Does the venue pay the artist, or does the promoter who set it up pay the artist? Sometimes that line gets blurred a little bit.
Well, and I think that it gets blurred to a certain extent when you have a promoter working in that capacity. I think they have a deal with the venue, but then they also have a deal with the artist. So ideally, the promoter would pay the artist, you
Mhm.
know. But if they're working for the door, they have to make sure that they're getting a cut of the door, and that comes. I'll be honest with you. I've been in situations, not me personally,
Okay.
but I have seen the artist, um, and the sound guy get screwed because the promoter is there for the show, and he'll leave about 30 minutes before the show is over, and suddenly disappear. And
Take the
it
money and
was a
run.
promoter in Amarillo that was, you know, doing that. The venue got stuck, because the band was like upset. And then in one case, the people that were working the bar, because they rented out a hall, and then they had somebody do provide the alcohol and the soft drinks and things. And so then they were like, well, we can give you something, but that deal was between you and that guy.
So your best advice would
And
be
the voicemail when picked up.
Your best advice would be for bands to first off identify who it is that they're dealing with. Is it the venue or the promoter that they have to talk to? Because Marcus and I'm sure Marcus, we've both been in bands where you play a venue and you see lots of people on the dance floor and the place looks full, and you get to the end of the night and they're going, oh well, yeah, we got overhead, we've got
Yeah.
the hall rental, we got to pay for the alcohol, and you get and we can only pay you this much or not at all. And that has been a problem that's persisted for since the beginning of entertainment as music, or music as
Mm.
entertainment. That there's that the venue blames it on the promoter, or the promoter blames it on the venue, that there was no money to be made for the bands. How do you avoid something like that?
I think how you avoid it is you do what a couple bands do, which is you refuse to go on stage until you get your money up front. I mean, that's the easiest way to do that. And there's been some instances, because Amarillo apparently at that time was getting that reputation that they weren't paying, but it wasn't that, Amarillo itself wasn't paying, it's the guy that brought you in. And so I remember one of the big groups showed up, and my friends were running the bar part, because they had the liquor license from their bar, and they came in to help. And I was like, well, the show's kind of, when's the show going to start? They're like, we're waiting on the promoter. And I said, why? They go, because the band is sitting in the parking lot waiting to go on stage. And up until they get paid, they're not going to go on stage.
Well, I have a surprise for our guests out there because we've been talking about, mid-level bands or the lower-level bands who've been screwed over by promoters or venues. I don't think this guy has ever been screwed over by a
Whoa!
venue.
What a
Ladies and
surprise.
gentlemen, Pete Astudillo has decided to join this discussion. We're speaking with Lucy Lopez. I think you know her pretty well.
What was the name again? Lisa Lopez?
No, Lucy
Y quieres
Lopez.
verme llorar. That one? Hello, everybody. Oye, saludos para todos. Lucy, so good to see you.
Hello.
I was blow drying my hair. I'm sorry I'm late, man. It takes a while. Un saludote, but it's been a while, guys. It's been since last year.
Yeah,
And,
November. Last
And
November.
November, happy 2020. I know it's mid-March. So don't kill me, but happy 2024 to everybody watching.
Merry
Happy New
Christmas,
Year,
Happy
you
New
too.
Year.
It's almost Easter, and I'm saying happy 2024. Pero todavía se vale. No, I just wanted to come in. I didn't want to interrupt the show, but I just want to say
Yes, you did.
a
You
big
did
hello
it on
to
purpose.
everybody. Huh?
You did it on purpose. Yes, you did. You
No,
wanted to
I
be
swear to God, I did. I just really wanted to say.
I see the scenario now because Lucy Lopez is in promotions, and also she's helping promote Pete Astudillo's new single. The name is Paque. Wait. Paqueres? No. I
Que
thought
le maten pollo. Yes, that's my latest single. Que le maten pollo. Dedicated to D and Culturas. Or D and Delia and Culturas. No. Before we talk about the single, I just wanted to say hello to Lucy for really, I mean, and just congratulate her on the work she does and thank her on the work that she does for me, for everybody she helps. She's helping the industry. She's helping us connect with you guys, with the traditional radio, podcast, internet radio. So she is that in-between person, that middle person that gets our music out there. So we want to thank her and continued success with everything she does. And speaking of promoting, yes, my new single that she's helping me out with is called Esta es pa mi raza.
Bobby Rasa, thank you.
And it's already out there. It came out at the beginning of the year. I know the last time we talked, we hadn't put it out yet, and we just kind of talked about it. But it's a tribute to my family.
Two songs that you've put out since we've spoken to you. The one with the Cumbia King All Stars, and this one.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the year, AB Quintanilla and Banda MS put out Es Viernes, which is doing really well for us. The video is out, so you haven't checked it out, check it out. And then we put out Estas Pa Mi Raza by Pete Astudillo. And like I said, it's a tribute to my family and a tribute to the hardworking men and women of this country, of the world, and to all the dreamers out there, man, and to people that have a dream, that are searching for that American dream, that are busting their butts every single day with no applause, with no awards, with no recognition, but not even a thank you, but just do it to feed their family. And this is a tribute to them too. And, we're going to be putting out a video for this one also, and it's available on all digital platforms, which is crazy that I did that. I've never done that before. you know this, D. You go back, we're old school, man.
Cassettes, CDs.
Yes. And the whole idea of saying, I'm going to write a song, I'm going to go to the studio, I'm going to hire musicians, I'm going to get my camaradas that work with me, I'm going to spend time on engineers and all this, mixing, mastering, and then I'm going to give it away. It's just bizarro world, but that's the way things are done now. So, we have to apply ourselves to the times, and we want to work now. We have to, change our ways, and, you have to do it too, man. You come from that old school, and
No. You're talking about bizarro worlds. This shows that first off, Lucy Lopez has clout and she knows what she's talking about because when you have a ringer, we had a ringer come onto our show and just say, "Oh hi, I'm Pete Ostadio, and yes, I know Lucy Lopez." And
Of course I do.
Jiminy crickets. Okay, yeah. So she refused to drop names earlier. I was saying, well, you've worked with a lot of big acts, and I've researched her, and I've seen the names of the big acts. She is so humble that she won't name anybody. I'm like, come on, this is an entertainment show. Impress the people, but she won't do it. So this is the impression she needed.
I dropped Pete's name. How many more?
I had to drag it out of you.
There's no point. There's no point of dropping any other names after Pete.
No, you guys are too kind, but thank you so much, man.
She kind of reminds me of D. When you talk to him, he's like real modest about culturas in the industry and all his accomplishments. He really doesn't like bragging about it. But the truth is,
wait a minute. Wait.
We'll brag for you, dude.
Am I like Lucy Lopez and being humble and modest, or do I talk too much like Pete? So
you talk too much and you're humble and modest.
There you go. A combo. There you go. You have it.
Oh my God.
You gotta be humble and kind, but be humble and kind. That's what the song says.
No, that is.
Don't say that so loud. She can hear that. You tell me that too often.
No, but speaking of humble and kind, really, bottom of my heart, I really mean it. Lucy doing a great job for the industry, and I mean, she does an incredible job, and we want to say thank you, and like I said, for connecting us with all these incredible people, like this podcast tonight, and like all the traditional radio, of course, and then the non-traditional radio, So she's really doing an amazing job out there for La Onda, for the Tejano industry. So thank you, and. No, really, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. She's a great person, and I've worked with her.
No.
Why are you laughing, D? Why are you laughing, man?
Because we have been so carefully manipulated. She's the puppet master. She's over there saying, okay, Pete, call in the show. Yeah, just come on. Yeah, this will make it legit, and everybody will understand that I've got the power. That kind of thing.
She has the power. She does that.
So Pete, how much is she paying you now?
I get paid in wine.
Out of the 17 boxes that she has in her house?
Remember the 17 boxes of alcohol. Some of that was wine.
Okay.
No,
wait, Pete. Do you know what TLL stands for? Because we just found out it was remarkable. This is a trivia question for Pete.
TLL?
Yeah, TLL.
Never asked.
I guess Tejano Lucy Lopez.
That was my
Talent Lucy Lopez.
That was my guess too. Nope. It's called the Lucky Leprechaun.
No.
Yes, it is.
Are you serious? I had no idea. I mean,
yeah.
The Lucky of the Irish, huh?
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
I guess you went to Notre Dame, huh?
Yes, I did.
You know what? One of my favorite movies of all time, Rudy.
I've never seen it.
Are you freaking
How
kidding?
have you not seen Rudy?
There's lots of movies I haven't seen, so get off my back.
That is one of the best movies of all time. I think I've seen it about 20 times. It's amazing. And I don't like watching movies over and over. I'm not one of those type of people, but that movie, and it'll make you cry every single time, man. It was such an amazing movie, man.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
Speaking of movies, what's your thoughts on the actors that have portrayed you?
That's something that we didn't touch on last time.
You know what? The guy that played me in the Selena movie was amazing.
Wait. Stop right there. First off, that is the first time I've ever heard anybody say, well, the guy that played me. Wow.
What?
We bow down to you, Pete.
Oh, yeah. There's not too many people can use that sentence.
Who can use that sentence? I've never had anybody play. Well, I had a guy stand on a street corner and claim to be me. He was panhandling, and I had to go confront him. So, yeah. He had the dreadlocks and the whole bit.
That guy that played him played a gangbanger on, what was that show? I think it was called On My Block or something.
Yeah, the guy that played me on the series, that's Julio Macias. Julio Macias, and actually, I don't know why. I mean, when they did this, when we did the movie, of course, I played myself in the movie. That's why I was being a payaso. I played myself in the movie, and that was an amazing experience. Something that I never in my life, I thought I would say, I'm gonna be in a movie, you know. So, and in the movie, I mean, I got to hang out with Jennifer Lopez and Edward James Olmos and all these amazing actors, and there I am, this little Mexican from South Texas in a Hollywood movie, and I mean, who would have thought? And I mean, it was an amazing experience. Of course, Jennifer knocked it out of the ballpark. I mean, everybody did. It was a really great cast for the movie. The series, I know the series get a little bit of a bad feedback on the casting, but I did talk to the guy Julio Macias who plays me, and he's on that Netflix show In the Hood or something like. He plays like a cholo.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was On My Block or something.
on
like
my
that.
block, that's it. But
Yeah.
I guess I'm talking about my neighborhood, in my hood. So, but the thing is, like I said, I don't know why on the Netflix thing they didn't call any of us to talk to the actors or any. I don't know if that. I'm guessing that was intentional. They didn't want them to talk to us. I don't know why, but
They'd have to pay you. They'd have to pay you for consulting. They'd have to pay you.
maybe that's what it was. But I know he got a little bit of a heat for it, or not, maybe not heat, but a little criticism because a lot of people said he didn't look like me, and he was, of course, really tall. First of all, very, very tall, very a little lanky. He wasn't that, he wasn't that graceful on the dance floor. It's like some of the things that people kind of know me for the dance. Of course,
That's
I
why
am
they
kind
did
of
let him to you.
I'm height impaired, as you all know.
Wait,
So
did they cast for you? Did they what midget casting? Okay.
no, but the thing is, I really think he did capture the essence of who I was. When I saw him interact, and no, not the physical part. That when he would interact with Selena and the rest of the characters, he was kind of. I'm a little goofy, so he kind of caught that. Kind of caught that, and I mean, in all honesty, he made one of my dreams come true. I was tall. I was tall for a little bit.
Actually, I think he slouched down a little bit in the show.
What?
I think he slouched down a little bit in the show.
I think he did because he is really tall, but he's such. I mean, after the whole taping and everything, I did get to know him better, and we talked on the phone a few times. He's a really, really good guy, really talented guy. He's gone on to do some other really cool stuff, but a really great guy. But I think the whole cast of the series. I mean, a lot of people compare the series to the movie, and they're kind of apples and oranges a little bit. In the series, I think they went a little bit more detail as opposed to the movie. But I think they were both excellent. I think people enjoyed both of them, and at the end of the day, that's what counts. If they enjoyed it, they liked it.
Oh, good. I love the fact that Lucy's a master manipulator over here because.
Yeah. Well, speaking of manipulating, I'm gonna manipulate my way out of here.
No, not
No,
just
no,
yet.
I want you to talk to the real star of the show.
I know exactly because I got a question for Lucy because Lucy is a promoter. I'm sure you have to deal with divas and people that are really difficult who they got demands and things like. I mean, describe for us what Pete's like to deal with, because I'm sure he has to have the brown M&Ms taken out before he performs. He's got to have his glass of wine. It's got to be a certain year with
you. Get those Sauvignon Blanc 2019 right now. That's what I'm drinking.
Zinfandel
from New Zealand.
Now, I'm sure you've had your share of difficult artists. Describe in your own words, not this guy. That in your own words, what's it like to work with Pete Astudillo?
Actually, it's very refreshing. He is extremely. What you see is what you get. I mean, the fact that he's talking about himself being goofy. I mean, he's just that is easy to get along with. But when it comes to talking about the schedule or things like that, we work together. I think we're in sync quite a bit on what his schedule is and when he's available and what his expectations are, meaning are we doing a video show or are you just doing a call-in interview, that sort of thing. So he's flexible either way, and that is really refreshing because I have dealt with some artists that are a little more picky.
Oh,
And,
like who?
no, not gonna say their names, but he is definitely what you see with Pete is what you get, and that's what I try to tell people when they interview him, especially when they interview him for the first time. And they're like, I'm nervous, and I get that quite a bit when I say Pete's name at first when they agree to interview him. Is the DJs are nervous, and rightfully so. And I mean, I have to tell you, when I started working with them, there's a couple of times we were on the phone that I remembered that he basically wrote the soundtrack for half of my life, and I'm talking to this guy, and I'm listening to him, and then I go, okay, you got to focus, and then I got through the phone call, but it was a little nerve wracking at first, but in the end, what you see is what you get, and he's genuine, and he cares about it because, let's be honest, he has a big name, even though he may not think so. He has a big name, and he is still calling in to, any radio station that I get him. He doesn't discriminate and say, well, that's just, a small station or they don't have the share, that I need. Let's try
the high chair he needs.
That's true, though. That is true.
Well,
Lower the microphone a little bit. Lower the microphone.
Well, we are so
Pete's coming in. Lower the mics.
We're so glad that Pete Astudillo came on.
That would be you. I always remember you call me that, man. Pete Rooster Dio.
Hey, man, you got that cucky plucky attitude, man. Plus, you taught black kids how to walk. So,
No,
I know it's past your bedtime, dude. So we're just gonna say thank you for coming on the show and supporting Lucy. Lucy, thank you for manipulating us like that and dropping this guy.
Hey, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't have introducing his new single to you.
So,
because
ladies
when you and I spoke, you said he was here before he released it. So I got you the introduction to the new single. See, it worked.
So we've now established her validity. She is the real deal. She is
the real deal, man. She's always working at this show is about her, and she's still working at that. Just tells you how much great of a person she is, how great of a promoter she is. And congratulations, continued success. Guys, thank you so much. I will let you continue talking to the woman of the hour. And I'll send you the guys the video when the new video is coming out really soon. In the meantime, Estas Pa' Mi Raza available on all digital platforms. Guys, Lucy, sign me out, Rato. I'm gone.
You want to wrap it up, buddy? Because we've only got so much time left in the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pete Astudillo.
Oh man,
that is so fair. You brought in a ringer. You got any other surprises for us?
No, I'm thinking like, what's gonna do?
That would be pretty hard to talk.
Right now, the three of us are going, what the hell just happened?
It's called promotions.
Hold on, his living room looks empty.
You know what? Pete is technologically challenged. We need to leave a message on his screen or something somehow, just to let him know his computer's running. I hope. Let's just leave it on and see if Pete does anything.
Oh, he shut it. He shut it.
Oh well.
Oh man.
I know he has to go to a radio station. Yeah, right after this. So yeah, I knew he was gonna be. It's gonna be short and sweet.
Let's go to
You're in Plano?
Well, no, technically, I'm in Amarillo.
Yeah, Amarillo. Okay.
Let's go and give some shout outs real quick. They're piling up on us here.
Yeah, they were piling up. Yes.
Gigi Guerrero, saludos from Mission, Texas.
Gigi!
And she was part of the meet and greet out there at Janie's Record Shop.
Giras y Desveladas.
Yes, Giras y Desveladas, which you can watch here throughout the day on Tejano TV on our Tejano Talk channel. So make sure you guys check it out with her and Miss Lori Jean Lopez. Make sure you guys check out that show. And thank you, Gigi, for joining us out there. Monica Andrada says Aaron Tex Gonzalez. Monica was at Jaime's place and performed out there early in the evening. I think it was Saturday it was, but we're going to try to get some of that footage of her performing to have it on Tejano TV. Got to get with DJ Nune. I think he recorded that show. Dorsey Fuentes, way west, Marcus.
You saw that when she booked me out there. It's a long drive.
Your memory, bud.
Rick Balderrama.
That's a long drive.
Rick Balderrama says saludos. Where in
Well,
the world
as we all say, where in the heck is Rick Balderrama today? Because we never know where he's at. Alaska, Idaho was that one time. He's just all over the place. Hey, Rick. Amsterdam.
Daniel Martinez, can you get Angel y Los Fantásticos a gig in Amarillo, Texas?
She can, but real school. All they got to do is contact her.
There you go, contact her. Ramon Lucio, hi guys. Ramon Lucio y Dominante. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hi, Dora Cifuente. Oh, he's commenting on that thing. Contacts agreed amount from vendor and percent to promoter would be my
contracts.
Guess. Contracts.
Yeah,
make sure everything is in black and white these days, because you don't want handshakes are not good enough these days. Monica Andrade's sending hearts. Text messaging Aaron text. Okay. Daniel Martinez, saludos a Lucy Lopez y Pira Studio. Ricky Duran says real talk.
Yeah.
Selena Natera says good movie.
Rudy.
Shout out going out to Selena. That's Revo Live Band's manager. Saludos Machugon Tejano TV and Pira Studio. Dora Cifuentes says hi. Ramon Lucio.
Hey, no crosstalk over here. We're trying to run a show.
Short people rock. I think that was for Pira.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, Lucy's a little tiny person too, so yeah.
Monica says, I met him back in the early 90s. I was a kid, and he gave me the opportunity to sing on stage with him at Tejano Nights in Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
So sweet and encouraging. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, friends, Uncle Earl here from You Know Where. Hello, your guests, Pete and Lucy. Mr. Marcus, sorry we can't get together at the TTMA Fanfare. Maybe we can get together at the next event. Wanda, you guys are looking good. Great show.
Why couldn't they be seen together? What's going on? What happened?
Keep pushing forward, my friends. Much love from your favorite Theo Uncle Earl from You Know Where.
Two black men can't meet in public without it being like a conspiracy or a movement.
Police call.
The two-man march.
Salutes everyone. There's a Plainview, Texas. Hola, Lucy. Dimas Garcia.
Dimas. Hi, Dimas.
Lucy Lopez, the real deal.
Evidently, we just found that out. Yeah.
Daniel Martinez says, I'm short as D.
the Martinez brothers, the whole family's short, but they're great musicians, though.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to that purple station over there in San Antonio for tuning in.
Wait. We didn't give Marcus a chance to say his line because we got some stuff to do here. Marcus?
We got more videos?
Of course we've got more videos.
Oh,
but these are two people that Lucy Lopez represents. This is Sunny Sauceda in Todo Eso and Pete Astudillo in the same video por la madrugada right here on the Three Amigos Show.
Oye, Pi, yo creo que ya me voy, gato. ¡Queremos bailar, Sony! Apenas se va a poner bueno. Yo me pongo sabroso, yo me siento feliz. 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 Por la madrugada yo me pongo sabroso. Por la madrugada yo me pongo feliz. Traigo mi morena para bailar esta cumbia. Yo traigo mi morena para bailar esta cumbia. Prende las 7 velas, que la parra comienza. Prende las 7 velas, que la parra comienza. Agarra a tu pareja a bailar esta cumbia. Agarra a tu pareja a bailar esta cumbia. Yo me pongo sabroso y yo me siento feliz. Ay, yo me pongo sabroso, yo me siento feliz. Yo me pongo sabroso, yo me siento feliz. Yo me pongo sabroso, yo me siento feliz. ¡Échale, compa!
Es lo que quería. Puro acordeonazo.
Y ya se puso bueno el ambiente. Yo me pongo sabroso, yo me siento feliz. Yo me pongo sabroso, ay, yo me siento feliz. Ay, yo me pongo sabroso, ay, yo me siento feliz. Yo me pongo sabroso y yo me siento feliz. Y nos vamos
Hasta que amanezca.
hasta que salga el sol, compa.
Sí, señor.
This week on the Three Amigos Show.
We have the honor to have someone who's been on many of your favorite songs as a guitarist, and now he's become one of Tejano's favorite singers. Miguel Hernandez joins the Three Amigos Show to discuss his career and his observations about the music industry. There's going to be a lot of name dropping about the artists he's worked with. Join us next time to find out. Miguel Hernandez will be here next week.
Right here on the Three Amigos Show.
Welcome back to the Three Amigos Show. We're here with Lucy Lopez, who just dropped a phenomenal bomb on us during the last segment. So thank you for Pete Astudillo for dropping in unannounced, unexpected, and I don't know,
I
unwanted.
wouldn't be doing my job for Pete if I hadn't pulled that on you.
We should have more artists dropping unannounced.
This was a first. This was absolutely a first. That just shows the kind of influence you've got, Almighty Queen.
Yeah. You want me to bring you to Amarillo, don't you?
Yeah. Wait. No, this was not self-serving. Oh my God. Wait, she's going, I've got Amarillo in my palm. I could hand it to you, but no, you kiss the ring first. No.
No, we're still working on it, so I haven't quite got exactly what I want from them yet. So we're working on that one.
Anytime.
No.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being on the Three Amigos Show tonight. It's been a blast. First off, finding out more about promoters and what they do so that the audience understands what the role of a promoter is, how it benefits the community, how it benefits the artist. You bring artists to a place where they normally wouldn't be, and you present them to the people, and that's what a promoter does. And that's a great thing to do. So thank you, Lucy, for the work that you do and the people that you work for.
Oh, and I wanted to mention Monica was one of the people that we brought into one of the festivals. Luckily, it wasn't the festival that got rained out, but the following festival, Monica played for us, and we've been she's from Amarillo, so I've known her since. She doesn't remember, but we met back in the early 90s. And then when she came back into the scene, she and I talked about it, and we've been supporting her ever since, you know. So, but I was excited when she came back into the scene because she was great back in the 90s. But, you know, she left for personal reasons to raise a family, and then when the time was right, she came back, and now she's having some success and hopefully a lot more. And we're rooting for her. So Dora Fuentes and I brought her in to a festival in Plainview. So Marcus, you're not the only one that's been to Plainview. But I know it's way, way west.
Yes.
Monica says, "Thank you, Lucy, for all you do for Amarillo and surrounding areas."
And I think Monica had a valid point as far as the contracts went. You need to read the contract. The band representative, or if you're representing yourself, you need to find out exactly what you're dealing with. And I would actually take one step further. Get feedback on the venue that is bringing you, because I've been to some venues to see some artists, and I would not have brought that artist into that venue because it was run down. It was, the women's restroom didn't have doors, had curtains for privacy, and then it had a like a saloon type door, to go into the restroom, and it was really run down, and I just wouldn't recommend bringing anybody there, but that sort of thing. And then two, the sound, you need to check the sound. I mean, that's important across the board. If they tell you who they use for sound, I would research them as well. That's important. And the lighting, you can kind of work around, but the sound is hard to escape from.
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, okay. I know Amarillo is a lot larger than Waco, but more than one occasion, we've had a couple of private gigs. Tejano's a small industry, but a couple of private gigs going on at the same time, and then you have a band that's just happened to be rolling through, so they book the other gig, and then 30 minutes away, there's another major artist. So 4 on the same night has happened in a small town of Waco. So with promoters not communicating with each other, what do you feel about that?
Or is it competition?
Yeah, it's competition, but when I deal with bringing somebody or having us bring people like my artist playing, we put it in the contract that at a certain radius they can't the artist can't play again the next night at a bigger city or some town 30 minutes away, because we want to make sure that our venue in Amarillo gets the correct billing. But I know that in Dallas there's a club that has a certain radius perimeter that that band can't play, and they basically have to play out of Dallas Fort Worth to get out of the radius, or they risk not being brought back into that club again. I mean, that goes on, but you kind of have to do those things to protect yourself, like you said, from the situation of 3 or 4 promoters bringing somebody, competition in. But then you have to ask yourself, well, really, what did that do for the industry itself? I mean, the one, promoter could have waited another week. It wouldn't have been that hard.
All the underbidding pretty much cheapened everything. Now you're getting less than what you really are worth because of all the underbidding just to try to get into an event.
Yeah, that is true. And with the people I work with and the shows that we've done, we've made it a point to make sure that we pay as much as we can, and make sure that we have the artists treated. We treat them correctly. We provide, food for them. We provide the drinks, the waters for on stage. Everything like that is taken care of when we do an event. But we have to take care of our artists because they're the ones that are that we've hired, they're the ones that are providing the entertainment, you know. But in the instance that when we got rained out, a couple of the artists couldn't perform. Right, they just couldn't perform, and we had the you know, people said, well, I wouldn't pay them; they didn't play. Well, it's not their fault that they didn't play. You know, try to get the money from God Himself. You're not going to. So we have to pay them. You know, it's really it rained. There was nothing we could do. You know, and so we had to pay them. We paid them, and we didn't think twice about paying them because they did travel. They
Yeah.
weren't from the area, and then they had to travel back, and it was, you know, the weather's bad, and you know, we understood, and you know, we gave them the opportunity to, if they, you know, could play there at the little clubhouse, but you know, they were, you know, the weather was bad, and you know, they preferred to go home, which is fine, but
Before we end,
they got paid.
before we end this show, because I've been prompting her for the last hour to name some of the people that she represented and promoted at, you know, brought to your city. Now, if you go to the TLL Talent Facebook page, you'll be able to see some of the names. Like, well, we knew that Pete Studio, sure, Isabel Marie, the Hometown Boys, La Mafia. Let's see, keeping going. Albert Zamora. Let's see, let's keep going. It's the see this is por el aire. We've got Jiminy Crickets. Look at all these people. Grupo Control. We've got. She represents the best and the brightest. Cindy Ramos. We've got Ivani Fuego. That's who I wanted to ask you about because that was one of your first acts, if I'm not mistaken. Am I Ivani Fuego?
Technically, it was my second act, but yes, that
Uh-huh.
was. But I have to tell you, with Ivani Fuego, they approached me about, I think, 4 or 5 months into me having TLL talent, and at that time, I spoke with them, and I, you know, was point blank honest, going, I'm still figuring out who I need to talk to, you know, to get some of these interviews and stuff. I'm kind of still digging.
They were
You
your guinea pigs.
know. Well, no, they were my guinea pigs. The first one was, but I was still trying to figure out who were the contacts I need to find. And so with them, I waited for, we discussed it, and I said, look, right now, I really can't offer you anything until I get my feet kind of grounded. You know, give me a month or two, and but in between, we'll talk, and we did. We kept in contact, and then eventually, Yvonne and I got on the phone, because for the longest time with Yvonne, we just chatted via, you know, the laptop, and finally, I told her, I said, you know, I'm not getting work done here. Can you call me? Because then I can do things, you know, I can be walking around and doing stuff. And so then we talked. And then eventually I was like, okay, now that I've talked to her, I've got to know her. I think it's a good fit. And I was pretty well established. And I could, you know, offer them something. And so we signed. And 7 weeks later, she won Best New Artist Female, you know, and but I have to give credit where credit's due. I told Yvonne up front, you know, if you stick with me and you listen to me and you do what I ask you to do,
Oh, that's hard.
I go, you can always ask questions, and I said, but if you do those things, then I think we'll be successful, especially in getting the award. And she did. You know, I told her, you know, I'm going to have you on several radio stations that you can interview with. Okay. And she said, okay. And back then, I know Juan knows, back then when I was representing, there weren't as many internet stations.
No, that
There,
wasn't.
there was in its infancy, you know, to an extent.
Yeah.
You know, there was a couple of, you know, bigger names, but, you know, Juan was starting out. Some others were starting, following, and then and then the audio wasn't always connecting, and there's little things like that, and it wasn't those guys' fault. It was just the platform they were using went down and things of that nature. But I told Yvonne, I'm going to have you at some little stations that may only have 20 followers, but we have to talk to them. And I remember telling somebody during the campaign for the awards, who was a big name act, one of the top females. I said, well, I've got her interviewing on, all the internet stations and anywhere else I can think of. And I remember her looking me straight in the eye and saying, nobody listens to internet radio. And I was like, well, whether they do or not, I'm having an interview. And like I said, 7 weeks later,
I think at that point there was maybe very handful of internet stations at that time. I know one of the biggest ones was BNet Radio at the time, and they've been around for about 20 something years, if they're still around, I think. But I know we were coming on. It was a couple other ones, little stations, and nobody really gave us the time of day, for internet radio, because it was something new. Everybody was used to the terrestrial. Nowadays it's something different. Everybody wants to get onto these internet stations because we've already cemented our part in the industry as internet radio. Machine Gun Radio has already been 11 years. We've been there for a while. I've been in internet radio side for about 12 years. So I mean, it was very small at that point. And then all of a sudden you have, I think probably every month after that, a new station. People left one station to start a new station, and it kept going like that. And then 5 people from one station went off and made 5 new stations or something. And then they started going all to Washington, to Ohio. I think Florida even got a station, in Mexico, and everybody, just all these internet stations started coming up. And we were trying to get all these. I think when I started, I was just hustling through all these artists coming through and just trying to get one by one every Thursday at the time, kind of like what we're doing now, but it was for the internet radio, for Machine Gun Radio. So yeah, it was only a handful at the time. Now you got so many you can't even really count anymore.
And the handful at the time, the DJs would show up for a show, maybe one day, maybe next week, but there was no consistency. No consistency on some of the stations. It was for somebody who's trying to do promotion for an artist, it was super frustrating because you can't count on them to be on the air.
Yeah, well, that part was a difficult part because terrestrial, you're getting paid to be at a certain part at the certain job at a certain time or whatever. So you're getting paid through those. Internet radio, you're basing it out of your house. So I mean, you're on whenever you can because you're working your 9-to-5 job, and then you come home and you want to do a couple shows or something. So it wasn't really consistent at that time, unless you had
getting a little defensive there, one.
No, because I wasn't like that. I wasn't on the air all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was I had to make our days kind of like what we do now. We're not on the air all the time. We're every Wednesday.
Well, I've got one final question for Lucy before we wrap up the show. Evidently, promoters, well, it's who you know. There's got to be a good old boys network of promoters, because Marcus brought up the thing earlier about promoters competing with each other, and I'm sure that's been difficult for you to break into, being a woman first off, and being new at the time. What was the difficulty becoming renowned as a promoter? What was the hardest thing?
The hardest part was getting the names and phone numbers to the other promoters. And because when I was looking for gigs initially for the first artists I worked with, that was challenging, because it was like one guy would tell me, oh, talk to so-and-so. And I was like, okay. And then I go and I research him, and the number I had wasn't his number, it was somebody else's. And then it was like I had to keep fighting. That's why I told Yvonne's group, I was like, I'm still literally in the weeds. you know, trying to figure this out. But that was one of the harder parts of it. The
And
other
the
part,
go ahead.
what were you going to say?
I was going to say that, and that still persists today, doesn't it?
To an extent, it's a little more easier to find people now because they're on social media. Back then, you know, the people were on social media, but they weren't, you know, really on it.
Yeah.
They weren't, you know, they weren't.
Nobody was advertising. They didn't trust it just yet.
Yeah, it was difficult. But the other part is being an IT, because it's really what I do for a living. Was I'm around a lot of men, and because women in IT are, you know, still not equally brought in, and even so,
Is that true, Juan? Juan's an
Well,
IT.
well, I think I'm the only IT here in this town.
you know, women in IT,
Mhm.
you're up against men all day long. And so I think the benefit that I had was that, you know, I learned to deal with men in a professional capacity at work. So when you try to tell me you can't do something, I question it. When you try to give me, you know, the going rate for a gig that, you know, you expect me to pay, I question it. And then when the man finally figures out that, yeah, this ain't any dumb chick, you know,
I think we're having issues with StreamYard at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. But I was gonna comment that my daughter's in IT, and the one thing she learned was be better than the rest around you.
well, and I learned that early on in my IT experience.
Well, folks, it looks like I think we're getting a warning somewhere. System default, and we want to thank Lucy Lopez for being on the show
Hold
tonight.
on.
Lucy, thank you so
Hold on.
very much. We're having all kinds of technical issues.
We
at
can
the
hear.
moment.
We can
And-
hear. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Maybe it's just on
So-
my end because everybody.
Yeah, see the whole
we can-
first name thing, D?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, we can hear. Are you having trouble hearing us?
Oh my. Oh yeah, everybody froze. Everybody froze. It was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we can hear.
No, we're okay. What I was gonna say
Y'all are
was
fine.
early on in my IT experience, I had a director that was who was female, and I remember one of the guys in the group, they asked a question. He started talking technical to her, thinking that he could, you know, get out of answering really the question that she asked. And
BS.
well, and then she turned around and she knew that he didn't know that previous to being a director, she was a developer. And so she understood exactly what he was telling her. And so then she said, "Well, that's great that you told me that, but I asked you this." And she goes, "Just so you know, I was previously a developer before I became a director." You know, so you learn how to deal with them and things like that. You know, but I think you know that's partly my personality. Has always been I'm pretty direct. You know, if I don't think you're telling me the answer that I want to hear, or you're trying to give me some nonsense, you know, I'll ask the question in a different way. And if I still get that answer, then I'll be, look, you know, be straight with me.
Mhm.
This is what you're telling me. You know, I'm not dealing with that. I've got, you know, a limited amount of time that I can deal with this issue. We need to get it figured out. You know, so that's just, you know, you have to have thick skin, you know, and as a woman, like you said, Dee, you have to be better, you know, and once you establish yourself in that capacity, you know, it helps. And then word starts spreading that you can't BS me, you know, and then it becomes easier. You know, it does. So I think essentially that was kind of something that you have to know just from the get go. You have to be firm. Being a woman, you have to be firm, but you also can't take a lot of the things to heart because if you tend to play into that, it's just gonna weigh you down. So you have to just keep in mind what you're doing. It's a job, just like anything else. It's a job. But the other thing I wanted to tell you, D, Albert Zamora is my cousin,
Oh wow.
and so I've
So
been.
it's who you know. Oh.
I have to tell you though, Albert Zamora, when he was young, I think he was like 10 or 12, and we would always go to Corpus from Amarillo to Corpus for vacation. And I remember Albert at the age of like 10. Everybody, all his siblings were older, and they all were all out doing their own thing. And Albert had the task of entertaining us with his dad playing the guitar. And poor Albert, you can ask him this when you talk to him, that he was literally the entertainment. His mother and father made him stay and sing while his dad played the guitar, and that's one of the early memories I have of him performing. So now that I see him on the bigger stage, it's
He's
it's
on.
really nice.
He's
You
on
know,
our wish list. Him and his kids, because they perform together in Vegas.
yes,
So
yes.
hook us up.
I'll talk to Rhonda, his wife. That's the one you need to talk to.
Marcus, you just slid that right in there, dude. So
We want all of them.
He learned, he learned.
thank you so much, Lucy, for being on our show tonight. This was truly a joy just to talk with you, and then to see that idiot Pete just jump in. Yeah. So
Stole the show.
he did steal the show, but
Well, I did ask him to come on, so I tried to send him the link, and
master manipulator, right there. Genius.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you.
No, not a problem. And if you guys have any questions going forward, anybody that was on the podcast, just look for me on the social media. Look for me. I have a website. You can get my contact information on there as well. But look for me on social media and send me a message. I don't have an issue talking to people. I have different people coming for different things. So, anything I can do to help. But yeah, we're trying to build the industry back up here in West Texas. So we're working on it.
Nice.
You're doing a great job, Lucy. Thank you.
So what is your whoops?
I know. Yeah, man, this is the Juan Mendoza show, and
So where can they find you? Where your website up, social media?
I've got my website. It's www.tlltalent.com. And then you can find me on social media, Instagram. I think those are
Twitter.
Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
X.
Yeah, anything like that. Or if you wanna, my phone number is 972-658-4723. And my email is llopez@tlltalent.com. So any of those, welcome that. If you see me online on Facebook, ping me. I mean, I'm always willing to chat. And,
That's those guys.
Mm-hmm.
well, when I was working, especially with Yvonne on the campaign, those 7 months, or 7 weeks, it took. I got the reputation during that time of not, with the DJs going, you don't sleep, do you? Because it could be 1 a.m. I was online, and then at 4 a.m. when the next DJ came, I was still online, and in between then I may have slept a couple of hours, but they're like, you never sleep, do you? And I'm like, well, I sleep a little.
A little.
And so they go, man, you're always online. But, inspirational hit at, a certain time. And, I figured I had to do something and, else to get the award. So, and the promotion. And the good thing about Yvonne at the time was they had a single and they had a video coming out like during that time as well. So, but, we'll be back to talk about Pete's video when it releases.
All right. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank
Well,
you,
thank you so
Lucy.
much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We
Thank
appreciate
you guys
it.
so much.
Very, very informative.
And Juan? I'm waiting for Juan to do the sponsors and the end of good night.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to continue after this, but now we had a couple other people to
Oh,
in the chat thing. So, David Vela from Oakland is watching. Thank you so
wow.
much for tuning in from Oakland, California. Johnny Dora Martinez says, saludos guys from M2. Macho Radio. Thank you guys for what you have done for the industry. And D, I'm a big fan of the new jam and culturas in general.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. M2 got some new music coming out pretty soon. What I read. So, and they're from I think Pearsall area out here in South Texas. So these guys are awesome. They got some awesome music and videos as well. So be on the lookout for M2. No, I just wanted to recap on everything like fanfare and all the other events and stuff that we have on coming up on the weekend. So I don't know if Lucy wanted to stick around for that or
No, I'm fine. I can
Okay,
stick around if you want.
no. All of us, of course, we went to fanfare this weekend, and it was awesome from Thursday to Sunday. Great events all around, trying to fight the rain and stuff at some of the events. But we were at the Internet Radio Gala on Thursday night, and we had a lot of fun there. Met up with a lot of artists. I think we had like over 5 hours of interviews throughout the whole night, and something like that. And everybody pitched in. So Marcus and DJ Nune and Vicky B was handling business while the rest of us were walking around and having a good time, man. It was awesome. And we're gonna have those interviews for you guys on Tejano TV this weekend. So make sure you guys get ready for that. Plus, we were at Janie's Record Shop that Friday afternoon from 12 to about 3:30, somewhere around there. And we had a lot of interviews and a lot of artists came through as well. So thank you to Becky and Robert from Janie's Record Shop for inviting us for a meet and greet out there. And we're going to have those interviews as well right after the Internet Radio Gala this weekend. And then, of course, DJ Noon and myself, we were at Jaime's place on Friday and Saturday and Lily's Promotions. And we got to record some of the artists that were there performing. And we're going to have those performances as well as some other ones that we did a couple years ago at Jaime's place. We're going to have those for you this weekend as well. So you get to see what we saw and enjoy what we enjoyed this weekend. And thank you to everybody for all the love and support. Everybody who came up to us and asked about Tejano TV. It was amazing. We passed out so many business cards this weekend, and everybody was just questioning about it and asking for more cards, and they were going to tune in, and it was amazing. So thank you guys so much for all the love and support. We're going to go back next year again and enjoy it. Another 4 days in Jaime's place, Janie's. And if you guys see us out there, make sure you guys stop us.
Say hello.
And of course, we're going to be working on some merchandise for you guys. We're going to have Tejano TV koozies. We're going to have some shirts. We got a bunch of prints in right before we went to fanfare. So we're going to start having some shirts made up and for you guys. So if you guys want to purchase some, get with us as well. That way we can send them to you. And it'll help cover our way for Vegas coming up in July. So we're going to try to get to Vegas. And then also for the Pura Vida Awards, which is coming August 16th at the Tobin Center in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to be a big part of that. Master Good Radio, Tejano TV, working with Danny Farias and Brandy Lopez, who are the owners of the Texas Pura Vida Awards. I know there's another organization with the same name outside of Texas, so we got to say Texas Pura Vida Awards. But that's going to be August 16th at the Tobin Center, San Antonio, Texas. Tickets are now available. You can reserve your tables, and also we're going to have media signups as well for you guys to set up back there and conduct your own interviews. Purple carpet event will be taking place about 5 o'clock, and all the artists that can come through, you guys will be interviewing those as well. And it's a lot of things coming up, so we're going to try to tackle a lot of them. And make sure you guys check out all of our shows that we do have here on Tejano TV, the Three Amigos, Cantamos con Vicky B, Giras y Desveladas, the Tejano Time podcast with Keith Leal. We got a brand new show coming up, the Hacienda Video Hour with Michelle Shell, Hacienda International, and they're gonna be that's gonna be in May, I think, coming up in May. Right now they're in between moving to a new location, so we've got a lot of things coming up very soon, and all of us get to be a part of our top 10 music video countdown. So we're gonna start up again this weekend as well, and a lot of things. Tejano TV, make sure you guys check it out. Download on Roku, Fire Stick. If you have neither, go to tejanotv.com.
Nice. Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Where do you apply for media passes for the Pura Vida Awards?
Those will be coming out pretty soon. We actually got to design one because we're going to have rules for that. Is that you're going to go in there and you're not going to go there and set up and then go sit down in front. No, we're not going to have that issue. So, yeah, we're going to have people. You're going to sign up. You're going to go work and do your job for your organization. So there's going to be a lot of rules for that.
I'm sorry, I had to set you up for that one.
Yeah, we know what happened last time. So, but no, yeah, we're gonna have some rules. Yeah, we're gonna have all that stuff coming up pretty soon. And what's cool about the Pura Vida Awards is that they're gonna be recognizing about 20 individuals. It's not gonna be really a voting process. They're gonna recognize people who.
I didn't ask for all of that. I just asked about media.
I quit.
Marcus, people want to know how come you're not wearing your Tejano TV shirt, man.
I didn't get the memo.
Neither did I until the last minute when HR got after me.
But don't you live with HR?
Lila Cervantes. Oh, yeah. That's our HR.
That's our HR. She even gets after me, so don't feel bad. Don't feel like we're singling you out because you're black. I get.
Say good night, Juan.
Good night, Juan. All right, but we want to give our sponsors a big thank you. Those who have been there for us. If I can find them.
Can't remember who they are?
No, I can't.
You're flipping through pages. What are you?
Yeah,
sponsors' names? I can tell you right off the bat.
Go ahead. Name all of them.
It's easy. I'll just put them on the screen like this. Our sponsors, La Lisa Promotions. We have also Mar Azul Tequila, Danny Farias, JD's Record Shop, Archie's Homestyle Burgers in Catula, DTF in Texas Printing, and Nuestra Musica Monthly Magazine. Those are the sponsors of Tejano TV and the Three Amigos Show. Thank you to our guest, Lucy Lopez, for being here, being so informative. Thank you. But thank you mostly to Mar Azul Tequila. We couldn't get through a show without one.
Thank you, Mar Azul Tequila, for the drink, for the shots at the Internet Radio Gala. Them shots were awesome.
Okay. Good
I
night,
should
Juan.
have gone and got the bottle from my bar and had it with me to show it, but I do have one.
And to the owner of the Lucky Leprechaun Bar.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us here. We really appreciate all of you. And next week, we're going to have Miguel Hernandez. What are the future ones that we have after that?
Crickets.
Crickets. Okay, it's a big surprise then, like Pete Astudillo. All right. All right, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Three Amigos Show.
Ate Wacho!
Next time on the Three Amigos Show. Do we have a show for you? This guy's been on many of your favorite songs as a guitarist, and now he's become one of Tejano's favorite singers. Miguel Hernandez joins the Three Amigos Show to discuss his career and his observations about the music industry, his family, and his future. Talk about name dropping. He's worked with people like Jay Perez, Ricardo Castellon, Stephanie Montiel, Shelly Lanes, Sunny Sauceda, and more. Join us next week for Miguel Hernandez right here on the Three Amigos Show. Brought to you by Mas Chingon Radio, LilaLisaPromotions.com, Hacienda International Productions, musician Danny Farias, Mar Azul Tequila, taste the new face of tequila, Archie's Homestyle Burgers in Catula, Texas, Janie's Record Shop in San Antonio, Texas, and Tejano TV. The Three Amigos Show on all your favorite streaming platforms and on all your Roku devices.
Pero el amor hasta mis sueños.